For this next video lecture, so we are still in Module 8 for the management of our current assets and the working capital. So we are now under the inventory management. Okay, so inventory management is typically the systematic approach of sourcing, meaning to say, where do we look for the suppliers, okay, to provide the items or the stocks or the inventory, storing, okay, the after receiving the inventory, so where does we want to store or keep those items, and ultimately selling them. Okay, so this includes both our raw materials, which are the components used as an input to process and manufacture or produce a particular good, and also our finished goods, or this is the ultimate finished products, okay, that we can already sell to our respective customers. Okay, so this is what we mean by inventory management. So from sourcing, storing, selling of the raw materials and finished goods. Okay, so in business terms, when we say inventory management, this means or refers to the right stock at the right level, in the right place, at the right time, and at the right cost. Okay, as well as its price. So, meaning to say, we are looking into an ideal status of the inventory in terms of the level of stock that we store or keep, okay, in the right place where we keep them, at the right time when we need it the most, especially, and of course with the right cost, because in this case you can choose, okay, from among the different suppliers that can provide you with the required number of units of inventory that you need, okay, as well as or and at the same time its corresponding price or cost. So as part of the supply chain, okay, when we say supply chain, this is basically the movement, or this is the what we call this the movement of and transportation, as well as the production of input to process it to form into an output, and then ultimately sell them to our respective consumers. Okay, so this is basically a part of our supply chain because we are dealing with inventory. So here, when we talk about inventory management in terms of or as a part of the supply chain, then it will include aspects such as controlling and overseeing the purchases. Okay, not actually just the purchases, but also the sales at the same time. Okay, so we oversee or control and oversee the purchases from the suppliers, okay, as well as to our customers. And then at the same time, we will also want to maintain the storage of the stock of our inventory and controlling the amount of product for sale and order fulfillment. So, if you could still remember with those which we have mentioned a while ago, it seems that they have the same definition or meaning, okay, when we say inventory management, but it's just in the different manner of explaining or defining, or I mean they just used different terms, but they mean the same thing. Okay, so again, we focus on the inventory, the storage, the level of our stock, okay, from the purchase of our input and eventually to the sales, okay, to our respective customers. Okay, so naturally, the company's precise inventory management meaning, okay, will vary based on the type of the stocks that they will sell, and at the same time the channels that they use to sell those inventory. So this is actually um how an enterprise will define their inventory management. Okay, so again, it will depend on what type of products that they sell and the channel that they go through. But again, the main point is that we are looking into the control and overseeing of those activities which we have mentioned a while ago. So again, but as long as those basic ingredients are present, so they will have a solid foundation to build upon. Okay, so again, basing on the principles of inventory management. So what about for small to medium business, right, SMBs? So often here, the tools that they use, okay, for their inventory management include Excel. Okay, so here they can encode and compute the levels and the cost, okay, of their inventories. They can also use Google Sheets, which also include uh, Excel, or other manual tools to keep track of their inventory. So they can use the book of accounts, inventory sheets, and the like, okay, to make decisions about ordering. Okay, so they can track and manage their inventory levels. Okay, what about for retail inventory management? So here, when we say retail, okay, the term retail is the broadest catch-all term to describe our B2C or business to consumer selling. So here, there are essentially two types of retail separated by how and where a sale will take place. Okay, so here we have for the first type of retail, that's through online retail, or this is what we call e-commerce. So here, this is where the purchase takes place digitally. So in our times, uh, nowadays, this is the most common uh, retail that we know. Okay, so we order online, we can shop online, okay, digitally. So the second type of retail is offline. So here, the purchase will take place in the physical uh, store through a salesperson. So this is our traditional um, retail, our type of retail. Okay, before the pandemic, or still exists actually today. Okay, so these are the two types. So basically, all types of business, if they are able to, they can have both this type of retail. Okay, so the third is wholesale. Okay, so here it refers to business to business. Okay, retail is business to consumer because we are talking about smaller portion or part or smaller um, number of inventories that were purchased from the seller and then we sell to the customers. So what about for the wholesale? Yes, this is business to business selling. Okay, so here when we say wholesale, um, this is normally ordering or purchasing in bulk. Okay, so um, the inventories are purchased in a specific amount, which is normally huge. or large. Okay, so in this case, okay, those seller or buyer, okay, will be able to get some discount, and or because of the orders, okay, that they make for the wholesale. Okay, so when it comes to retail, normally there is no discount, okay, for it. This is one of the main difference between the wholesale and retail. Okay, so most business maintain stock across multiple channels as well as into different locations, especially if we are talking about those which have different store places or location. So they will make sure that there is enough inventory, okay, for the sales. And then the diversity of retail inventory management will also add to its complexity and drives home its importance to your brand. So here, um, basically, there is a lot of things that you should take into consideration, especially when it comes to retail. And if you're carrying different types of brands, okay, so you have to make sure and also uh, try to manage everything so that all of your items will not be out of stock, especially if that is saleable items. Okay, so what is the importance of inventory management? So here, for any goods-based businesses, so the value of inventory cannot be overstated, um, because inventory management will benefit your operations efficiently and for the long run. Okay, because in goods based or product based businesses, inventory is your lifeblood, because this will serve as the items, okay, that you will sell, okay, to generate revenues and profit. So without it, then you will lose, or you will lost uh, the expected revenue and profit. Okay, so from the SMBs, okay, small to and medium business, to companies already using ERP or enterprise resource planning. So normally, when we say ERP, this is a systematized digital or electronic form of inventory management, in which there is minimal physical counting of the inventory, and it's easy to manage in terms of uh, purchasing and selling of those inventories. So here, there are challenges, okay, that you will encounter, especially if you are, or if you have, or even if you don't have the ERP. So for example, these challenges includes blown out costs, loss of profits, poor customer service, and outright failure. So again, there are other things also that will contribute, okay, to the difficulties and losses that an enterprise might incur. Okay, and this may be related or not directly uh, related to our inventory management. But again, your inventory management will have the greatest impact of all. Okay, so here, inventory management will also help uh, clear our or clear the visibility, which will help us to reduce the cost, because in this case, the enterprise will be able to monitor, okay, the costs, so therefore they can reduce it by changing their supplier or other things that will affect the cost reduction. Optimize fulfillment of the orders, provide better customer service, prevent loss from theft, spoilage, and returns. Okay, so those are some of the most important benefits of having inventory management. So, in a broader context, our inventory management also provides insight to your financial standing, okay, customer behavior and preferences, product and business opportunities, future trends, and more. Because you're able to see what type of inventories are saleable and not, what are the different options in terms of suppliers. If you're looking for the same item with with the lowest cost, okay, so you can choose your best supplier for that. Okay, so those are the different concepts under the inventory management.